It's not about the destination as much as it is about the journey. And the empowered approach to astrology wants to make sure that you journey in style, feeling as if you are the co creator of your own life's experience. If you want to experience the empowered approach to astrology in action, you can schedule in one of the Empower Hour consultations at the link you'll see above. And you can also gift this to a friend through one of the gift cards just in time for the holidays available at the following link. So here's the situation. Just as I said before, it's not so much about the destination. It's about the journey. But it doesn't feel that way to you now because you see an outcome that you think is very necessary. You see a change that needs to take place, and that has you driven. It's arousing your passion towards trying to achieve a specific goal. You know that if you were to do something other than this, that it wouldn't feel right to you. And yet, in the back of your mind, there's this nagging little voice that goes, I'm not sure if it's going to go quite the way you think it is. And, when that happens, that begins to get us even more riled up and make us become even more driven. And we can do that if we really want to. We can get so attached to that particular outcome that we just, go, well, if this falls apart, I'm going to fall apart. I'm going to fall apart. Here's a couple of things. You don't need to do that. You don't need to fall apart, and you don't have to fall apart. And you can even approach this situation in a manner that is a little more sanguine. In other words, you can approach it in a manner that goes, you know what? It does matter. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter because it does matter. It does matter, but I can't be in control of the outcome. Instead, you can only be in control of doing what feels right. We get so focused on the outcome. And I've been talking a lot about this lately, and that's because the astrology is pushing us really strongly in that direction, helping us to understand that outcomes are not necessarily the goal, right? And that sounds very contradictory, but we focus on life in terms of milestones, achieving certain things, feeling that we have to do something. And sometimes we're driven by a real need, but then we miss the bigger picture. Okay. And I'm going to say something now that's going to sound, perhaps a little bit harsh, but if you examine it a little more closely, it's not harsh at all. Okay. The universe doesn't care if you achieve that goal that you desire. I'll say it again. The universe doesn't care. Does that mean the universe is harsh or universe? Substitute word of your choice as per your spiritual beliefs, right? I'm going to say the universe. Does that mean that it's cruel, that it's horrible, that you're being punished or anything like that? Absolutely not. What it means is it wants you to have something that's even better than those outcomes. It's just as you are here going down that highway of life, you're going, but I have to do this. I have a real need, and that need is what propels you to take certain actions and to move in a certain direction and to question what feels right to you and to question what feels wrong to you. And ultimately, it's that concept of what feels right and wrong to your soul that matters most. It's not the outcome. It's not what, whether you, get that job or whether you get into a relationship or whether you free yourself from an entanglement that you're stuck in, right? Those are just the things that propel you on, and you should let yourself be pulled, sometimes even pushed in that particular direction, because that's precisely what needs to happen. But if you think it's about getting out of that entanglement, or if you think it's about getting that job, or if you think it's about getting that relationship, you're missing the bigger picture. And it's that bigger picture that this new moon is trying to point you in the direction of. It may feel at the present moment as if you're in a boat trying to get to shore and there's a leak and you're having to bail out the boat with one hand, paddle the boat with the other, trying to get to shore. And you can do that furiously. You can do that in a manner that drains your strength, or you can do it in a manner that goes, you know what? I accept I might not get there, but I damn sure am gonna row this damn boat to make sure that I have an opportunity to, because that is what feels right by me. At the moment, you should not go in any direction other than the one that feels right in your heart. That means even if you are looking at a scenario and going, you know what, it may not go my way this time, but I know what feels right to me is to try to make sure that it does go my way, and that what feels right to me is to put my energy behind that action in a manner that gives me the greatest chance to do so, but doing so with full acceptance that it may not work out. In other words, you're needing to act from a space of acceptance, but also inspiration. Now, that may sound to a certain degree contradictory, because you're going, well, isn't it that passion or that, concern or whatever the feeling might be that's driving me towards this goal? Isn't, that what matters, that I achieve the goal? Not necessarily. That's meant to keep you acting and to push you and to propel you. But what you're meant to gain from it is, does this feel right to me? Does continuing in this direction feel correct? Or does it feel absolutely wrong? If you go in the direction of just what naturally feels right, and yes, have drive, have passion, but understand that it's about the journey more so than it is about the destination. If you can approach things in that particular direction, chances are you'll likely find that even though things are not turning out in quite the way you had hoped, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get what you need, and it doesn't mean that the situation is not going to have a positive outcome. Just perhaps not the outcome that you had in mind. Be a little bit flexible in terms of outcome, but be direct in terms of what's going on in here. That truly is the best path forward for you. That's going to do it for this look at the new moon in Mula Nakshatra, which is going to take place on the 23rd of December, 2022. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.